We're back to learning JavaScript on Exercism. This time I've solved the Luhn exercise. So it's a simple number validator. In simple terms, we've got a number combination. We'll take every second digit starting from the right. So in this example it will be 6. Then 6 again, and so forth. And in the end we'll get the 4. We double this number, so 4 becomes 8, 3 becomes 6. The numbers in between, you can find them up here, so we haven't doubled them. If we double the number, for example the 6, and it's bigger than 9, so that will be 12, we'll have to subtract 9 from it, so 6 becomes 3 and so forth. In the end we'll sum them all up. So we've got 80 here, and then we divide them by 10. And if we don't have a rest, so the rest is 0, we have a valid number. The way I solved it, let's look at the test first. We get a string, so we'll have to convert it at some point. At first I'll just call it str for string. And now we'll have to get rid of the white space, so I use a replace. I'll use the G flag and I'll replace it with nothing. So I'll just add these quotation marks. For example, you can see that right here. This test has white space and it turns out true. So this is why we're doing this replace in code line 7. Don't forget the G flag to find all these white spaces. Then we've got a special case where our str is smaller than 2. So I'll create an if statement for that, and in this case we'll return false. For example here, our string is just 0 or 1, should return false. As single or 0 strings are invalid. Let's move on for the other tests, the other cases. I'll define digits. I'll spread out the str. And now I use mapping to go through all of these characters that we've got now in our digits array. And we'll turn them into an integer by using parseInt. So C is just a placeholder for character. So this turns all of the single characters, the letters, the numbers that we have as strings into an integer. And now we can work with that. We need a for loop. The counter starts at digits.length, but be careful, it has to be -2. So every second number we'll use and we'll start from the right, and index starts with 0 and length doesn't, so we need -2, not -1. So I has to be bigger or equal to 0. And we always want to increment by 2, or in this case decrement. We'll start at the right, so minus equals 2. So we'll jump 2 positions at a time. So now let's check. We'll have to use our digits I, and we'll have to double it. Or we'll have to check if it's bigger than 9. And if it is, we'll have to subtract 9. So digits at index I times 2 minus 9. And if it's not, we'll just use digits I times 2. So this would be, for example, the 4 right here, it would just be doubled to 8. And the 6, it will be doubled, it's 12, so minus 9 comes 3 is this. And in the end, we obviously want to return our digits.reduce. It has to be summed up, so sum, comma digits, and it's sum plus digits. So in the example, it would be the 80. So we've summed up all the digits in our number combination, but I've missed parentheses here. And then we want to check if remainder 10 would be equal to 0. And this should be it. Let me run it. And we're good. So let's check it. For example, test 1 right here. This is our first case. So the if becomes true and therefore false is returned. Test 5 becomes true. So for example, we've got the 8, which is doubled, which would be 16. So minus 9. It becomes 7. The next number would be 4, it would just be doubled and so forth. We sum it up, then divide it by 10 and check if this has a rest or not. And this is how you can solve this Luhn exercise on Exercism using JavaScript. I hope this video was helpful, thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.